In recent years, the exploitation and consumption of fossil fuel sources have caused much harm to the environment. Therefore, the development of renewable energy, especially solar energy, is the trend of the whole world, including Vietnam. In 2017, the Prime Minister signed Decision Number 11, 2017 on mechanisms to encourage the development of solar projects in Vietnam. According to the decision, from June 1, 2017, Electricity of Vietnam (EVN) is responsible for purchasing all electricity from grid-connected solar power projects at the price of 2,086 Vietnam dong per kilowatt, including value-added tax equivalent to 9.35 cents per kilowatt. According to the decision, enterprises investing in solar power also have the privilege of capital, tax, and land. Therefore, experts said that this is good time to invest in solar power in Vietnam. This is an important milestone, contributing to the creation of mechanism to attract private investment in the development of solar energy in Vietnam. Also, in 2017, Vietnam has the first solar power project installed on the roof of plants with a capacity of more than 1 megawatts and many large projects. Specifically, the solar power project in Ninh Thuận province with an investment of more than $2 billion have been started and will be put into operation in 2018. In October, the solar power project with the largest capacity in Vietnam up to date of 210 megawatts has been signed and will be implemented in An Giang province.
Welcome to Shine Vietnam on VTC 10 at the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, using solar energy is making headlines here in Vietnam as well across the globe. And today we meet with Mr. Troi, a project manager of emerging markets and finance, to know more about developing solar energy here in Vietnam in the future. Thank you, Mr. Troi, so much for coming to our show today.
Good day, everybody. My name is Troi. I'm a project manager with Solar Plaza in the Emerging Markets and Finance team.
So first question, what is your evaluation on solar energy application as well as using renewable energy in general?
What we call this renewable energy transition, the green energy transition, it's a necessary and, in my opinion, unstoppable move away from conventional ways of creating and producing power to a more sustainable way of producing power, renewable energy power. If you look at it from multiple aspects, it has an environmental impact. We need to change our way of thinking and how we produce energy towards a sustainable one, especially with the climate agreement in Paris, for example. It's also an economical, sensible approach. Everywhere across the globe, solar energy is becoming more cheaper, more affordable, so it becomes an economical viable product. And then it also has a social impact where you can say, like, let's move as a society towards energy independence from renewable sources. So I think there's multiple aspects to look at when you think of renewable energy, and especially solar energy. It has multiple benefits as well on that side. So it's a range of opportunities to tap into when you look at it. Especially, for example, in why solar energy? When you say renewable energy, why specifically solar energy? Solar energy is the only renewable energy source that has this capacity to scale. So it can be one panel on your roof, it can be a whole field of panels. And that's the only renewable energy. You cannot put a windmill on your house. So I think that's the beauty of it. So from the whole society, from the smallest household up to the big industry, they can apply solar energy. And that's quite a unique feature of it.
So what do you think about using photovoltaic in Vietnam at the moment?
It's beginning. This is really, we're at the beginning. To give some context, when we spoke about Vietnam in the beginning, or at this moment, it has a market of between 10 and 12 megawatts. The goal is 850 megawatts by 2020, and then towards 4 gigawatts and 12 gigawatts. So now we're only at the beginning. You also see that in who is interested. So we have international investors and project developers coming into Vietnam, looking like where can we benefit from the current framework for big scale projects. And then you will see that trickles down to actually household levels where people also say like, I want also solar panels on my roof because I, for example, would like to shy away from EVN price hikes or anything like that, or I want to be energy independent, or I want to be more sustainable. So then you can get the whole chain going So it starts with big scale projects, will trickle down to small scale.
So according to you, what chances will Vietnam receive in this field, and how do you evaluate these chances?
Especially, what not many people know, but Vietnam also already holds one of the biggest manufacturing facilities on solar energy. Vina Solar is one of the biggest, maybe the biggest in the world. So we already have the biggest output here. So if you already account for that employment rate and that local value chain available, then it makes sense to also allow for solar energy usage in Vietnam. That's the biggest chance and opportunity I see for Vietnam.
Recently, a seminar on prospects of solar energy in Vietnam took place in Ho Chi Minh City. The main objective of this event is to connect foreign businesses and local businesses in the field of solar energy production. They are engineers, contractors, management and implementation organizations.
There are a lot of companies involved and really professional companies that are thinking about that there's a great future for solar. All the stakeholders involved are with capacity, financial capacity, capacity of development, capacity of installation are and also manufacturing like Gamesa, who is doing manufacturing solar inverters. We are in this position to be here.
According to the decision on amending Power Master Plan 7, the development of renewable energy has been identified as one of the breakthrough solutions in ensuring electricity supply, as well as ensuring national energy security. In addition to wind power, manufacturers will create a battery system that will absorb the energy from the sun, providing renewable energy from hydropower.
All over the world, we have to think that should be the future, no? Obviously, you have to cover renewable energy like wind or solar. You don't have always this, so you have to cover this lack during the night or when there is no wind. You have to cover that, but you have the technologies should be more open to the green technologies, like it's happening in Switzerland, like it's happening in Sweden, in Germany, on all these countries where there is no pollution.
Currently, although Vietnam does not have a large-scale solar power plant, the potential for investment in this area is huge, and there is a need for international cooperation in both terms of technology as well as finance. Domestic and foreign investors want to deploy their projects in different scales ranging from small to large. That means solar panels will not only be installed in factories or large buildings, but also on rooftops. Solar energy will bring many benefits to Vietnam.
Thứ nhất là chúng ta sẽ có thêm cái về an ninh năng lượng, và khi tham gia vào thị trường điện thì dần dần nó sẽ góp phần để làm cho giá thành của thị trường điện nó bình ổn và người dân sẽ có nguồn điện đủ và sạch, giá cả hợp lý để mà sử dụng.
With these practical benefits, in the future, surely solar power will achieve a strong growth in Vietnam.
How about the challenges that we have in developing solar energy here, and what are the solutions in your opinion?
Yeah, the challenge is it's a very, very new market to it. So you need to, start from nothing. So when you speak to for example, bankers or national government or EVN, it's a bit of a new product or new solution, and also the regulation and the policies are also very new. So before that actually is trickled down and in everybody's mind, then you have it takes some education. Then another challenge is, especially when we speak about 18 gigawatts of projects somewhere under development, and only 850 megawatts can be built, then it's really key for everybody, local and international, to look at who's the solid partner to work with, who will be that first 850 megawatt. And that's really a challenge.
So what are the solutions for these challenges?
So especially on the first side, educating the market, I think events are a great way. We do have in Vietnam quite some organizations working on it. The GIZ from Germany, USAID from the US, Green ID local, so civic organizations and NGOs that try to facilitate that education with banks, with local governments, with provincial governments, and with local private sector. Then how to assess projects, that's just facilitating and matchmaking. That's meeting Vietnamese partners on the ground, visiting them at the office, inviting them, going back and forth. And the project financing side, that's what we try to focus on with Solar Plaza in actually unlocking that capital. So when we have development banks and multilaterals involved, we try to please look at Vietnam like it's a good opportunity. People need financing. Why not you? If we come together, we can make those hurdles that are there now for financing. I think we can alleviate them. You would every big international solar market is financed by international banks, commercial international banks, what we call project financing, and that's something that also needs to develop before international banks from across the globe or world banks actually finance projects. And then you can actually see, then it will generate, and then it will go quicker and quicker and quicker. It will become a flywheel, solar PV. Of course, the chances, as we said, are big. When from 10 megawatts to 850 megawatts on government level, national government level, that's a big step. From local developers, there's already what we say under development. So it's really the chances are to see what projects go first, what can develop first, and what can we do with all the projects that are then coming up? What can we make ultimate use of those efforts put in? I think that's what will be coming a very, very big question for coming years, because there's 850 megawatts need to be built in 2018 and 2019.
If photovoltaic projects are developed successfully, what kind of benefits will Vietnamese people receive from it?
I think especially what's now going on within Vietnam is hopefully a push also towards a healthier environment. So if you see the health benefits of renewable energy, especially in the Mekong Delta, but also around Hanoi, you want to move towards renewable energy. It's about CO2, but especially also about the fine particles in the air. Like it has health risks associated with it. And then the next step, as mentioned in the beginning, will be to trickle down so that actually people on a household level, wherever you live, can put a solar panel on the roof, become more sustainable, and especially also more energy independent with this solution the sun shines for free, so it will not get anything cheaper than that. If you look at more efficiently, we see solar PV is continuously increasing. Like the R&D is people put a lot of money into solar PV and making it better. It is one of the quickest growing energy sources, and you see that across the globe in all the countries, PV is being deployed, from cold Northern Europe up to sunny Vietnam, and we will see more and more efficient modules. Especially also on the whole, what we say, balance of systems. So the whole system becomes better. It's not only about cell efficiency, but the whole system becomes better and more resilient. When you then look at more efficient project development, I would say as soon as we have international banks coming in, then the project becomes more efficient. The tariff that solar allows for is especially depending on the cost of capital, how much capital is available. That's very, very important in solar PV projects on a big scale, I would say.
Thank you, Mr. Troi, so much for your sharing today. I hope that all your future plans will be successful and the projects will bring a lot of benefits to people in Vietnam.
Thanks for tuning in. Hope you'll see solar energy coming to your house soon, and all the best. Thank you.
This is the end of our show. Thank you for watching. Goodbye and see you again.